My name is Craig Reese, and we just got to see another episode of The Traitors. This was episode 10. So I'm telling you now, if you haven't watched the last episode, turn away now and come back later for my recap because there's obviously going to be spoilers. But man, oh man, has this show just gotten better and better these last few episodes. Let's wrap it up right now with one of the biggest cliffhangers the show's probably ever done. I'm talking about both seasons, is not telling us who the group voted off or banished between either Phaedra or Peter. It was a very well fought battle between the two. Some words were said, some great lines were used that I will never ever forget. And then right as soon as MJ's about to turn her name, it cuts to break and they're like, tune in next week. So we finally got to figure out that Peter actually was banished. I think it was 4 versus 5. And that was a shock. I don't know if you watched our recap from last week, but both Morgan and I were split. I did think Peter was going to get voted off. She thought Phaedra. And so, yeah, now this has just made it a very interesting situation because Peter's team has now lost their leader and they are already down to just 3 people now. One of them most likely will get murdered during the night. And then Phaedra's team and the Bravo girls and Kate, who's also a traitor, they've got the numbers now. And so they are looking very good after Peter's banishment. So come that night, we do find out that it was either between Trishelle or John that were going to get murdered. And Kate and Phaedra decided to get rid of John. Now, I am very confused by this. They mentioned that John is very long-winded and outspoken, but Trishelle has proven that she has her finger on the pulse of this show. And maybe they don't see it on the inside. I know she's saying it a lot on her interviews that, just us as fans are seeing, but she's been right about almost everything the whole show. So she's definitely one that I'd want to get rid of, especially because she has that alliance with CT. And if the Traitors are really thinking about keeping their numbers up and getting rid of the other team, letting Trishelle go, I feel like would have made a bigger impact than John was going to. No one was really listening to John because I think he did talk too much. So yeah, that was interesting, and we'll see if that really matters in the long run. But now it is really just Trishelle and CT against the rest. And now, again, Sandra is in this Bravo group. She's not a Bravo person. She's from Survivor. But the rest are Housewives and Below Deck and Shaws of Sunset. And they've kind of bonded together. Now, though, they are starting to think that Phaedra might be the traitor. There's just been some weird things going on. And to be honest, Phaedra has kind of given up now, during this episode specifically, of defending herself. If someone asks her, then if it's not you, who is it? And she kind of will just sit there, and then she might throw out a name, but that name really doesn't make sense. I think she said CT once, but she kind of went for him a little bit in one round table, but for the most part, they've been buddies. And Sandra probably would have been a better person to try to throw under the bus and try to get people to turn against her. So, yeah, I don't know if Phaedra was just tired of it. I mean, they were coming for her literally the last 3 roundtables. And so even Kate, who's the other traitor, said the same thing. She is just shocked that Phaedra isn't fighting for it anymore. This is at the roundtable. And even Kate herself votes Phaedra to get eliminated, to get banished. But she almost had to because everyone else did vote for Phaedra too. So, yeah, that's kind of how the whole episode went down. They had a great game where they had to jump across these floating bridges, won some more money. MJ won the shield, so she's safe from murder. She could have been up for banishment, but no one's really looking at her as a traitor at all. So yeah, again, Phaedra really didn't fight and say much at the round table. She voted... Who did she vote for? Now I'm trying to remember. I'll remember in a second. What was also really interesting and worth noting too is Cherie talking to Phaedra a couple times during this episode. And at one point, face to face, eye to eye, asked if Phaedra was the traitor, and there was a long pause. And I don't know if y'all picked up on this, but her left eye twitched, and I saw it. And this is something they had said a couple episodes ago about when she's lying or when she's hiding something, her left eye twitches, and she completely brushed that off and said that's crazy, but it twitched. Go back and look at it. It definitely moved her left eye specifically. But yeah, she lied right to Cherie's face, and I just think that was, especially with someone she's known for 30 years. I think that was starting to really get to her. And yeah, Phaedra did vote for CT at this last roundtable, and now I remember because she said it was just because he was the only guy left. And it was really cute. Like he said that was sexist, but she didn't really want to vote for him. I think that was just her like another way of like not really caring, not really trying to be secret or manipulative about it. I think she realized that she was done, and she just went and threw CT's name on there because he was the only guy left. So yeah, so it was, all votes except the one from Phaedra, for Phaedra to get eliminated or banished. She did kind of play around and kind of lean into maybe being a faithful, but then she said faithful traitor. And then there really wasn't a great reaction from everyone, but I think everyone is getting exhausted and everyone's getting kind of sad of being lied to and being deceived. And a lot of people really, really loved Phaedra and believed her the whole time. Kate has been very vocal about saying she's not a good traitor, but I actually think she's been an amazing traitor this whole season. She almost made it to the end. Next week is the finale, so she essentially did make it to the very last possible point. And so I thought she was great, and she was so much fun just to watch, regardless if she was faithful or traitor. Lots of good one-liners. She'll be remembered for sure. So that's that. That kind of sums up that last episode, episode 10. Next week is the finale. We will find out if Kate, who is the only traitor left, will trick everyone and win, and which would be another season of a traitor winning the money, or if the leftover or the faithfuls that are left will find out who the traitor is and then split the prize money. One thing I want to mention too, Sandra calling Kate out. Oh yes, of course. So after they eliminated or banished Phaedra, we did get a few more minutes of everyone just going back to the kitchen and the living room. And during the round table, Kate called out Phaedra and said, "You're more selfish than skillful," which was really unnecessary. Kate could have just voted for Phaedra and let it be. And also, has she not learned her lesson yet? Because usually when you go for Phaedra, she will come right back at you and probably better. So I was shocked that she would do that because it was so unnecessary. But luckily, again, I think Phaedra was kind of over it. So she just responded back to Kate by saying selfish. And then Kate was like, yeah, well, more selfish than skillful or something along those lines. And so again, unnecessary to try to start that fight with Phaedra, but also unnecessary because now Sandra picked up on that, thought it was a little weird. And so Sandra pulled Kate aside and asked, like, what was that about? Like Kate really has not said anything negative about Phaedra the whole show, or since she was joined halfway through. And that was just a red flag, an unnecessary red flag. So yeah, Sandra now is looking at her, and I'm pretty sure MJ was in that conversation with him. So MJ is now questioning things with Kate, and that might have ruined it. Like I said, Morgan and I did a recap last week, and we both thought it'd be cool that if Kate would win. She was on season 1. She came in as a faithful, then was turned to a traitor, and just has been doing a good job. And so, but she might have just shot herself in her foot with that one little slip up. So, oh man, if you can't tell, I am very excited for next week's episode. I really hope they do a reunion as well. I couldn't see why they wouldn't, especially because they did one season 1, and they've got great people to do a reunion with as well. So hopefully we'll have another week after with the reunion, but next week will be the finale of season 2. There's 1 traitor and I believe 4 faithfuls, maybe 5 faithfuls. CT, Sherelle, Cherie, MJ, Sandra. 5 faithfuls and 1 traitor. So again, there will be a murder. Kate will murder, I think, 1 more person before the final 5 next week. Is I believe how it's going to happen. Don't hold me to that. We'll find out. But yeah, I had lots to say about this episode. If you have any questions or comments of this last episode, please let us know. We love reading that. Let me know who you think is going to win. I'm going to still hold out for Kate, but it's not looking good right now. So this might be a season where the faithfuls win it and split the prize money. But yeah, we'll hope to be back next week with a recap of the finale. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to everything here on Hollywood Junket. We not only cover this show, we cover lots of other shows. I think you'll be entertained by all the interviews that we do. So find us there. Again, my name's Craig Reese, and have a great night. Thank you.